Welcome everybody to Funeral Nation episode 213. That is Jeff, the Funeral Commander Harbison. I am Ryan Thogmartin, and this is the funeral profession's only weekly news web show, and we bring it raw every week.
We bring it raw. It's interesting. I'm out here in my outdoor office on my patio, shorts, golf shirt on, doing my work, enjoying the weather. And, I just look at life is fantastic right now. And it's a real blessing. And the only way that we have a real blessing of this show is because of C&J Financial. I'm really, I love these guys. I'm getting ready to teach a course called Cash Flow Solutions for At-Need Services. And you know what? Until you get paid, the funeral's not over with. And it's just not about insurance. It's about a lot of things. So anyway, let's roll that C&J promo.
We may be the largest insurance assignment company in the funeral profession, but that doesn't mean we've lost touch with our roots. Here in Rainbow City, Alabama, our priorities still come down to a welcoming smile and a handshake that says we keep our promises. With all the tools and technologies that assure blazing fast turnaround, what really matters is much more old school. Personal responsibility, integrity, relationships, and the pride that comes from hearing yet another client say, "You came through for us when it mattered." C&J eliminates the challenges that funeral homes have in processing insurance death claims. If cash flow is vital to your business, welcome home.
Jeff, something that's interesting is the fact that C&J had a great year last year, and they also are a sponsor of the Funeral Nation show, which is the most watched web show in the profession. I don't think that's a coincidence.
It's, something going on there. I have to tell you, once again, there's wonderful folks there. The people who take care of the hard work of verification and making sure funeral homes get paid for families, they're just extraordinary. And I love what they do. So there's a difference when you have to go to work and then you enjoy where you work. And
that's right.
I continually say our team enjoys where we work. If you're not using us, you're wrong. Way it is. So speaking of being wrong, I had a wonderful conversation with a funeral professional, and this person was lamenting how busy they are. Funeral home in Kentucky, they generally do about 50 calls a month, which is pretty busy. They did 90 plus last month. Wow. And my question was, if you're doing all that extra work, how is your funeral home owner compensating you extra for the work that you're doing? And the conversation was rather quiet. There was no cussing on the other end, but it prompted me to think, for discussion's sake, that if funeral professionals, and they are overrun, there are some firms that are doing all they can do. You talk to some, I've talked to some, that you would think that that would be shared for the good work that's being done. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. You think that it would be too, and if the funeral home's not making revenue on doing that many extra calls, there's a fundamental business problem in question there as well. So I think it brings to light a couple of different conversations in that realm on into looking at burnout. I mean, frankly, you and I both have talked to owners that are like, we like the extra business. We're not complaining about having more business, but this has got to level off at some point, because I mean, we're running everybody ragged. And if you're running everybody ragged, they should be compensated for running ragged. Because I mean, what's gonna happen is they're not gonna be happy to be there. They're not gonna serve the families well, and that creates another fundamental problem also. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard from funeral homes that are saying, hey, yeah, we're compensating employees more. Maybe there are some. I think it'd be great to hear from some of those employees that are putting in those 80-hour, 90-hour weeks that they typically don't. And is there extra compensation going there? Or what's that arrangement look like to be able to provide value? Because funeral homes across the country right now are maxed, just maxed.
Sure. And it's a fundamental math question. I mean, if you're a 100 call firm and you base your prices based off of 100 calls, then if you're doing 150 calls, you should make more money. I'm not saying that all that profit should go to employees, but they're the ones that got you there, right? And I I don't know. It just prompted. We don't hear much about this. I haven't seen it written anywhere, and I would enjoy listening or hearing back from some funeral home owners that are helping their staff uh, by either compensation or however it works. I guess time off really isn't an option. You
No,
know,
no, no.
the federally you're only supposed to work 40 hours a week. It'd be interesting to see how that's working out without pay, or is everybody getting paid overtime? What's going on out there? And so if you're watching this show and you are one of the owners that are taking care of your folks, give us a shout out, email us privately. We don't have to say who you are, but just tell us what you're doing. If you're not doing it, why aren't you? What's in it for you that if you're really as busy or you're doing almost double the business, but you're not looking after your folks, why? Just want to know. Um, well, I'm kind of excited. We tried to do it this week, but we'll have it next week. We're going to have someone from the casket profession come and talk to us because believe it or not, there's word out that there's some shortages or there's difficulty getting caskets. And I find that pretty interesting because we had a casket glut a couple years ago. It's not like they got you know sent off somewhere and turned into Toyotas or something. So I'm just wondering what's going on. Is that a particular company that's having a problem that people are ordering from, or is this system wide? So we'll have a professional from the business come in and chat with us. But there's a lot going on.
Sure
Interesting
is.
under the wire, if you will.
Yeah, a lot going on, and there's supply chain problems across the board, not just casket companies. So we kind of like to hear from everybody in that regard too. But that'll be an interesting conversation because when we talk about cremation and nobody wants to be buried anymore, then how come we've had this increase in business and a lack of burial product, which is interesting. So yeah, a lot. I mean, this has been it's been a funky course of 9 months, and it doesn't look like it's going to get unfunky for a while. There were a few acquisitions this week. We just got a press release from Foundation Partners who made their first acquisition in New Mexico. So that doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. So, a lot of things happening in our profession. A lot of things happening globally that affect our profession that we don't really look at in the grand scheme of things. At the beginning of this pandemic, funeral homes were scared to death. And now it's the opposite side of the coin where they're scared to death because they don't have enough people to handle the workload. So it's interesting, Commander.
That's it. We've got some data and analysis work done with revenue per call, and it's dropped some, but it hasn't dropped significantly, at least for the business side that we do. In fact, there's a firm that their revenue per call went up in annual basis, but that's another discussion. Certainly with funeral home owners, pricing. You don't have to wait till October, but if you're really just wearing it out and you see your revenue per call is going down, it may be time to take a look at changing your pricing, and that's really important because it's at some point this will slow down. That revenue will slow down, and so you don't ever make up a death call.
That's right.
But anyway, buddy, you're going to be out and about. In fact, not too far away. So just yell up the mountain. You'll need a coat where you're going to be.
Yeah.
I would come see you, but I don't have one. So
yeah. It's going to be. I was surprised being in Arizona and in the 20s at night. So that's like Utah weather, Ohio weather.
Yeah, that's a whole way over there type thing. I'll keep that. My flowers are blooming, so I'm not going anywhere.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Yeah, we're taking the kids on a homeschool retreat so they can see some other kids and hang out. Should be fun. Okay, well, we'll see what shakes out between now and episode 214. So until next time, have a great effing week.
Out here.
Get your ass up and sleeping. Rolling up and smelling like